We believe that this message will be a blessing to you. So we want you to stay glued and watch to the end and share to bless others. This is Christocentric. We have a lot of Apostle Eric Nyamekye's message on our platform. Kindly check them out. Thank you for watching. Stay blessed.
So the basic essentials needed for worship in the Old Testament was number one, the priest. You need the priest.
So we here upon that animal no me here pa ni bia ye de ye osore no ye here pa eye sof penin and osofo no.
Now you need the tabernacle or the temple.
Hey, o san here bio sia dan ntoma dan ana se asore dan.
Then number three, you need the sacrifice. Three things. Number one, the priest, the tabernacle, the sacrifice. So I'll try and then throw some light on the importance of these three. And why you cannot eliminate any one of them and make worship complete in the Old Testament. Number one, the priests. The priests were the officials that God commanded to lead and facilitate worship in the temple. Now they were Levites from the house of Aaron only, Moses' big brother. Exodus 28 verse 1. Exodus 28 1. Have Aaron your brother brought to you from among the Israelites, along with his sons Nadab and Abihu, Eleazar and Itamar, so they may serve as me as priests.
Aaron any ne mammening free Israel mu emra menchen na wonimi asofo Aaron any ne Nadab Abihu Eleazar any Itamar.
1 Chronicles 23 verse 13. 1 Chronicles 23:13. The sons of Amram, Aaron and Moses. Aaron was set apart, he and his descendants forever, to consecrate the most holy things, to offer sacrifices before the Lord, to minister before him, and to pronounce blessings in his name forever. Here he describes their job, the priesthood, what they were going to do. Chronicles describes their job.
Amram emma ni Aaron ni Mose na we Aaron say o meye ade kronkron no ho ade ono ene ne ma enkosi da say won hye aduhwam awurade anim na won som no won fa ne din enhyira enkosi da.
So the role of the priest in the Old Testament was crucial. Now, when you bring the sacrifice, the priest, will have to receive it and actually do the sacrifice on your behalf. The authority was derived from God, who set them apart to serve him and attain to the maintenance of the house of God. The priests stood between the people and their God as mediators, who brought the sacrifices of the people to God and led them to experience God's presence.
So for no or yentemjina for the man nipano and Yankopon or the Nippona for the body a qua a radianim no Simon Nippano acti on Yamenka ever want them.
They were a special group of people who should be from the roots of Aaron out of the big tribe of Levi.
Oye nipa sonko a esese woye Aaron asefo a woyi won fi Lewi busuanko nim.
You may be a powerful king as Uzziah, but you can't attempt to do their work, because if you are not chosen, God will strike you with leprosy.
Wobetumi ayo hinkese bi to se Uzziah nanso se wonyi wo se yesa adwuma no a wontumi enye anye onyame de kwata ebesra wo fita.
When you attempt to do their work, you may be as big as King Saul, but God will not be pleased. They were a special group of people chosen to lead worship in the Old Testament.
Now we nipa sonko Onyankopon yi won se wonni osori anim e wa pam da anim wo yo hinkese te so hin Saul kra wontumi enye won adwuma anya onyame eni nso.
So the second essential was the tabernacle or the temple.
Enti adenya die sonko etoso mienu no eye asori dan no ana hia entomadan no.
See, the tabernacle or the temple was the designated place of worship.
The woman is asori dan no ana se hia entomadan no eye baabi onyame yi se won sori no.
Now, if you were to bring your tithes, you have to move it from Tamale to Jerusalem.
Se odi won tutu sududu eba se obomodi anante efi dege beru Jerusalem anya wanye
to the extent that now it was a burden carrying cows and cattle, so God said, I sell it and bring the money along, because that was the designated place of sacrifice.
Na adia na hia pa dubri bi no na dania de soa se wo besoa twa kwan de abre awrade nti o kire won so obetumi aton na obetumi de husika no aba asori fie ho.
So it was where God's presence was represented in the Ark of Covenant.
Enti na ye ba bi onyankopon kasa na ni onyam eyi ne ho adi e wo hia dan to madan.
Now it was supposed to be God's dwelling amongst his people.
Ni wo mun se na se ye onyame atenaye e wo no nyame manfuom.
In fact, God commanded that his people built him a tabernacle so he could dwell amongst his people.
No kwasem so onyankopon hye se won si hia to madan ma no na ontena wo mu.
Exodus 25 verse 8.
Exodus
25 8. Then have them make a sanctuary for me, and I will dwell amongst them. It was in the tabernacle that Israel could meet with their God. It was at the temple or the temple court. That was the place sacrifices were carried out. The temple court, not in the temple, but the temple court and the temple itself, they were all supposed to be the temple. So the temple represented God's rule over Israel. And reminded them of his special presence among them, and to make them a source of blessing to the other nations. So the temple was not just a place to meet God and to make sacrifices for him. It was also to remind the people that God was amongst them.
So the
Let me take the sacrifice. You see, God commanded Israel to make sacrifices for him, or to bring offerings for him for different reasons and on different occasions. The sacrifices were representations of the people. The sacrifices were representations of the people. What do I mean by this? The sacrifices had to do with one's ability to offer. And so that when you are poor, there was some concession made for you. Yeah. And depending on the kind of offering that is prescribed, or depending on what you have done, there's a prescription. But in that kind of offering, there's also some concessions. The ability to afford was also in there. I'll give an example and I'll illustrate that one too from scripture. Now Leviticus 12 verse 6 to 8. Or 6 and 8. When the days of a purification for a son or daughter are over, that is when a woman is giving birth, there is some kind of offering or sacrifice that is expected of her. I mean, as if to go and say that, Father, thank you. You see, these days, we tend not to be giving testimony, but give testimonies. Now, when we are pregnant for 9 months and you give birth, don't take it for granted. Don't take it for granted. In the Old Testament, they were expected to go and say thank you with an offering. Now somebody called me and the fellow was complaining about how they are local, they have not been giving anybody anything when you come to. Wow, go and thank God. You see, we are. Oh, I don't understand.
Obi frɛ me na ɔka kyerɛ me sɛ wabɔ mmɔden wo na ɔwo dodoɔ no ɔtwa kwan sɛ anka wɔbɛma ne biribi ɛnso ɔma ne hwee na nyame aboa no wawo a kɔ n'anim na kɔda na